do that. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about prayer and how you can, if it's praying is not something you do or do regularly, hopefully this can get you started. It's a jump start. Because this is basically what happened to me. I pretty much am a regular prayer, but you know how it kind of gets to be a little bit routine, and you're almost reciting something rather than actually having a conversation with God, which is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to just be talking. And it would be like if I got together with you and I just memorized something and I just said what I had memorized, and you'd be going, what? And so it's not like a true meaningful prayer. And so hopefully this can kind of give you a little jump start if you're that way. Now, here's the thing too. If you're mad at God, it's hard to pray. And don't say you don't get mad at God. We all get mad at God. And then we try to hide the fact. We try to hide it from God. We're like, God, you know we're mad at him, but I'm not mad at him. And it's like, and I'd always heard it said, if you're mad at God, tell him. It's not like he doesn't already know. So just sit down and talk about it. Don't keep all that stuff inside. All of that is prayer. All that is falls into that category of prayer. But I want to tell you a little bit today about how I got started doing something when you start doing it for other people, how it can totally change you. It's like, you always heard it's more blessed to give than to receive. You remember the time when you probably you were an adult, you finally realized what that meant? You gave something and you were like, oh wow, that's what they meant by it's more blessed to give. It was so good to give. And it was even better than when you get. It's kind of that way with this aspect of prayer that we're talking about. That it is, when you do it for somebody else, it kind of gets you started. It kind of opens the door to prayer in a way that may have been a little bit hard for you to get past. Maybe it's you're backslidden, or you just, for whatever reason, you're just not, your prayer life's not what it should be. So I'm going to tell you what happened to me. And this has all happened to me in, I'd say the last 6 weeks. I would say, I guess my prayer life had sort of gotten to be a bit of it was a bit monotonous. I had realized a while back how important it was to pray for my family. As you know, my family is a ministry family. Bottom line is, you as a Christian family, the devil is out to get your family because your family is a Christian family. But me as a Christian ministry family, he's working 100 times harder to get mine. And so that means my kids are at a huge risk. My grandkids, my husband, all of us, myself, all of us are at a huge risk, and we need prayer. And so I realized how important it was that my family be prayed for every day, because it would be so easy, the devil to look and just see that little in and get them. And so it was real important for me to pray. And so, yeah, it had kind of gotten to where it was like, okay, was that, I know I'm supposed to pray for them because it's so important. And that I was doing. But it just seemed like it needed to be stepped up a little bit. And so I was reading. There was a pastor's wife in Charlotte that I don't know her. I just ran across her blog. And I read it, almost every day. She posts probably 5-6 times a week. And I was reading it one day, and she said in her blog post, she said, tell me how I can pray for you. That was the name of it. And so she goes on to say that she realized that there were ministries out there that were, or families and wives of pastors and stuff that were really struggling and needing prayer. And if you would just leave a comment that she would pray for you that day, she promised that she would pray for you. And so I thought, wow, that's that just seems like such a selfless thing to do. And so I thought, I really didn't think anything else of it, but I went to sleep that night, woke up, and had that on my mind, that maybe I should do something like that. So, okay, all these things were popping into my mind, and I sort of kept making excuses, and I thought, oh no, I can't do that. That's too uncomfortable. To actually ask a person, how can I pray for you? That's a little uncomfortable. And then just every excuse I made, the answer to the excuse just kept, no, that's not a good one. And then something, I realized something in this wonderful day that we live in. I have probably 200 contacts in my email list. I have, more than 300 Facebook friends. And I thought, you know what? How simple is that? To send a message, just a bulk message, to my email contacts and my Facebook friends, and just make that offer. But of course then I thought, ooh man, doesn't that make you sound like you're just super spiritual? Well, I knew I wasn't. I'm not a super spiritual person. Well, they're going to think, that seems kind of boastful, like, oh, let me pray for you, I'm something special, And, but I had to really get past that. That was very uncomfortable to make it, to send out a message and that said, tell me how to pray for you. And I want to do it. And I want to pray for your specific need. And so that pride thing was really big. That was a big thing that I had to overcome. Okay, you have got to get past this and just do something. I know it's not comfortable, but you've got to do it. So I'm telling myself this. And so that next day I did that. I organized it. I went through, and I won't tell you everything that I did, but I meticulously organized it. And I specifically chose the people to send the messages to. Only did it to women, didn't send it to men, didn't send it to young teenage girls. I chose specifically who I wanted to get those messages. Well, I thought, what's the big deal? It's one or two people I'll hear back from. Oh my goodness. I came in, I think that Wednesday night, and I was telling Brenda and Donna, I said, and they were sitting there, my phone was sitting there on the piano, we were practicing music, and it was going ding, ding. People were sending me messages. You would not believe